Okay, in this video, I want to start a series on Bruce Lee. Now, the reason is because there are people who have different opinions of Bruce, whether he was a fighter who could act or an actor who could fight, whether he was legitimate, whether he was a legitimate martial artist. There's a lot of people who are overly critical of him, and other people who just praise him too much. So I want to talk here about Bruce Lee. Now, it's going to be in a series of videos, okay? One video will talk about what he was trying to do. I don't think most people know what he was trying to do. Another video will talk about why no one fights like Bruce Lee, okay? Another video will break down we'll talk about whether I think he was a fighter who could act or an actor who could fight. Okay? Now, in this video, we're going to talk about what he was trying to do. Now, the reason why I'm doing this one is because I think most people do not know what he was trying to do. Surprisingly, people from his legacy, maybe not Daniel Santo, maybe not Ted Wong, but there are people who I think are from his legacy, can be traced from maybe his second generation students, whatever, because they go on, this generation, first generation, second generation. But there are people who are from that lineage in some way who don't really know what he was trying to do. And this is what I believe he was trying to do. Didn't know him personally, of course. Died in 73. I was only 12 in 73. Trained in martial arts, but too young to know Bruce Lee. And not from that area where I would have met him either had I not been 12 years old. But what was he trying to do? And I think I know what he was trying to do. Bruce Lee was about 5'7", about 145 pounds from what I've heard. He had to know that there was a limit as to how much power he could generate given his size. He was a smart man, like me. He was a philosophy major. Bruce Lee had to know at 145 pounds, 5'7", he could only muster so much strength, right? He could only muster so much strength. Given his size, he would be relatively fast because most people his size are not, by nature, not objectively, but most people are his size. Most people are his size and relatively fast, but not relatively powerful. If you look at what Bruce Lee was trying to do and the way he trained, he was not trying to beat 13 people in a small local bar. He was not even really claiming that he would beat up people as big as The Rock. That's not really what he was trying to do. What Bruce was trying to do was maximize his ability to generate power and speed given his size or lack thereof. Let me say this again. What Bruce Lee was trying to do was not prove that he could beat up 13 people in a local small bar, or beat up somebody as big as The Rock or a prime Hulk Hogan. That is what grown adults are claiming that he tried to do, claiming that he could do, and it's amazing how these grown men on YouTube, these grown men, Bruce, okay, I don't think he was trying to prove he could beat up everybody. I think he was trying to train in a way that would get the max out of his given size. And he knew that at 145 pounds, right, you will only generate so much power, but you certainly can generate more than what had been previously displayed. Okay? I believe that Bruce knew that at 145 pounds, 5'7", you could only generate so much power. What he was trying to tell you is that there are ways for you to train. And that no matter what size you are, there are ways to maximize your abilities. There are ways to maximize your speed. There are ways to maximize your power. So when people look at him and say, oh, he was trying to be 5'7", 145 pounds and prove that size didn't matter, I don't think that's what he was trying to do. I don't think at all that's what he was trying to do. No. I think that Bruce had more sense than that. I think what he was trying to do was say that size does not have to matter to the degree that it did prior to him developing some of the training methods that he developed. Because you are trapped within your facticity. You are trapped within your facticity. You use a term of Jean-Paul Sart, not Sartre, Sart, the French philosopher. How tall you are, how tall you are, how old you are. You were always in some kind of situation that you have to function within. Okay, Bruce understood that, but too often people don't get the max out of their given talents, the max out of their given intelligence, the max out of their given ability, or the max out of their given size, their weight and their height. And that's what he was training to do. I don't think for 1 minute that Bruce believed that a clone of him, exact clone of him, but a clone, it couldn't be exact, but a clone of him other than it would be a 6-foot Bruce. Let's say it was a clone of Bruce, and the only missing variable, the only different variable would be that it would be a 6-foot Bruce. I think Bruce Lee, if he was living today, would say that 6-foot Bruce would beat the 5'7" Bruce. Okay? Why? Because he was taller and he was training the same way. And let's say he was heavier. Let's say he was 60 pounds heavier and 6 foot, right? In every other way, all variables remain the same. Because he trained exactly like Bruce, I'm sure Bruce Lee would tell you he would beat the smaller Bruce. Because you are trapped within your facticity. So people need to understand, in this first video, I want to make that clear. I think most people have it wrong, that Bruce was not training to claim that he was a one-man army and that he could beat 13 people in a small local bar. No, I think that Bruce was trying to tell you that you're not getting the most out of your training, okay, because of how you're training, and he was trying to train to get the most out of his given physiology, okay? In the next video that I post, I will look at why no one fights like Bruce Lee. No one. From Poteet to Carruthers to Danny DeSanto, nobody fights like Bruce Lee. None. Nobody does Jeet Kune Do fights like Bruce Lee, and I'll tell you why that's true. Okay, safe, calm, room of fight camp. See you next video.